really think that they have a good opportunity to end up in the Bahamas.
Steven Jackson, one of the best players in the Big Three, now taking over for Kenyon Martin and trying to repeat and get back to that championship game. Here is a look at that roster, and it is led, their leading scorer, by Jarrett Jack.
Yeah, so Jack's a big-time leader. Amir Johnson, big time at owning the paint. He'll have a big challenge today, but James White's a guy that doesn't get enough credit in this league for how good he is. He can shoot the ball, he can go inside. I think James White's one of the more complete players.
And for the Aliens, they are 0-3 this season. A very tough matchup ahead for them. Braden Rush, their leading scorer, that they've been having trouble generating offense. They're coming off a 3-point loss to the Killer Threes.
Yeah, the big thing about Aliens when they play a lot of my-turn basketball. They have good individual players, but they don't necessarily share the ball. You'll see that today with whoever gets it usually shoots it.
Brandon Rush this season, 15.3 points per game. And he'll be joined by Andre Owens, Greg Oden on this team. Reynaldo Balkman, he is out. And there's a look at Steven Jackson in his first season as the Trilogy head coach. He played 3 seasons with the Killer Threes. Seems like that is invaluable experience, not just his entire NBA career, but the fact that he's played so much and performed so well on this floor.
He understands the Big Three. He understands what's allowed, the physicality, what's not, how to talk to the refs, how not to talk. He just gets it. And when you see him on the sideline, you know that he has a really good control of his team.
Here's the Aliens roster. Greg Oden, I mentioned, is the captain. Shannon Brown, another player who they definitely can lean on, the 2-time champion with the LA Lakers, and Brandon Rush, who we've been talking about as well. And here's a look at the rules from the Big Three. First team to 50 wins. Halftime is 25. There is no game clock at all. There is no trying to run out the clock, but there is a shot clock. Look ahead at those free throws and also the 4-point shot. We saw at least 1 or 2 in our first game here on Triller and Fight. And we are underway here at American Airlines Center. It will be Jack a long 2, and Oden's got the rebound. Trying to save his own hook shot from that miss, goes out of bounds.
Yeah, Amir Johnson's given up size and weight to Greg Oden, but he has done this his whole career, being able to play against bigger guys in the paint.
Amir Johnson, lots of experience, made the playoffs in 8 of his 14 seasons in the NBA. That rebound chased down. Here is White, as you mentioned, a tremendous defensive player, not able to knock that one down, though. And Owens was looking inside to Oden, and there will be a foul.
I had to guard him 2 years ago. Oh my gosh, it was the hardest thing I ever had to do. This is 3-on-3. There's no wearing him out in transition. There's no moving the ball. He just stood there. It was the biggest challenge I've ever had with a guy. He is so big, so strong, and he gets off his feet pretty quickly.
And that free throw, good for 2. So Aliens get on the board. They take the early lead 2-0 against Trilogy. And team trying to go to 3-1. Midway through the Big Three season, that's not there. Falling out again, Trilogy getting opportunities. Here is Jack. And he's got Oden on him. Pulls up right over him.
That's going to be a layup for him in this game. You'll see he'll just wait for a big or anybody guarding him to drop their hands, and Jarrett Jack will let that 15 to 17 footer fly.
Owens to Rush. He's collapsed upon in the middle and can't get that mid-range to fall. Another whistle, though. Greg Oden, the captain for the Aliens under Rick Mahorn. This is his 2nd season, his first as captain. Of course, we all know about his career, a tremendous one at Ohio State University, which earned him the #1 overall draft pick in 2007. Jack using that high screen, and that's good for him.
You cannot leave his body. Like, it's a 3 off the dribble with a pick and roll or a pull-up. It's automatic for him.
And for Jack, this is his debut season in the the big three as that is rejected by Amir Johnson. Owens going back into the post as Odin gets even deeper, and there's no stopping that.
Yeah, great job by Andre Owens recognizing that's a mismatch, and then the repost where Odin takes up the space.
Jack. And a rebound to the Aliens. When you come into this season, looking at the midway point, Brian, it is such a short regular season of just 8 games. What is the importance specifically of week 4? And you still want to be able to find your stride, but you don't technically have the time to do that.
Well, right now is the time where you'll see at the end of this week, there'll be a big difference between teams that are in and still playing for the Bahamas, or teams that are really up against it. So it is important right now heading into the second half. Plus, this is a shorter week. We got a game on Thursday, got another game next Saturday.
Rush can't hit from the baseline, and Owens is going to pull up from 3. That touched nothing but.
Owens does live for this stuff. He likes going against the best.
Jack going behind the back, almost loses it against Rush. Rush's head on a swivel, waiting for a possible screen, but Jack's just going to pull up over him that easy.
You got to keep a hand up. And this is me. I'm also, we have these guys on Thursday in Milwaukee, Trilogy, so I'm doing full scouting report right now. You cannot drop your hand against Jared Jack.
4-point shot for Rush, not close. And Jack himself with plenty of time. Rebound to Odin. 2-point difference between Trilogy and the Aliens. Game number 5 here at American Airlines Center. Rebound to Johnson. Going one-on-one in the post, trying to back down Owens is White, and a whistle.
People don't talk enough about how good James White is. Take a look. Backing down Owens, takes his time. There's the foul, switches over to the left. James White can play.
I think, as you mentioned, a lot of people see him as that defensive presence, being the 2017 Defensive Player of the Year on that undefeated championship team, but really trying to make a point here offensively in this game.
Yeah, I think he's, like I said, there's a lot of people, we talk about a lot of people in the big 3. We do not talk enough about how good James White is, and he just wins. I feel like he's always been like that.
Owens off the ball screen, that just drops in, and he and Jack feel like they're trading baskets.
Yeah, you see how he got to the middle of the floor. It's just a dangerous place when you're playing 3-on-3.
Jack has rushed on him now. Dropping it into Johnson and over his head. That's good off glass. And a timeout called on the floor. 13-9, the lead for Trilogy as they try to move to 3-1 this season in Dallas. This is the midway point of the Big 3 season. Career, no surprise that he is taking the Big 3 by storm.
Yeah, I mean, anywhere he goes on the floor, he's a threat. He's great shooting off the dribble. Had that little hesitation. I just love the way that he plays basketball. He makes the extra pass when he needs to, but he has all the confidence in the world. You see right there, 9 points, 1 assist, all the confidence in the world to take those contested jumpers. Averaging
over 13 per game. And like you said, it's a scout for you as well, right, Brian?
Yeah, it is. It definitely is. I got to watch these guys.
Here comes Rush attacking. He might have been hit when he was in the air. Jason Maxiel new into the game. Trying once more. He finally gets it to go.
That workhorse. Jason Maxiel always been a workhorse in this league. You have to get back to his body on any shot that goes up.
Of course, we know him as a Detroit Piston, where he was drafted to most of all, and there's going to be a whistle away from the ball, it looks like. Owens happy about that call. Or it's going to go on Owens.
Yeah, it's going to go on Owens. He tried to grab Amir Johnson, tried to sell it. He's up there for trying to sell the fouls, like him and Mario Chalmers.
You can't have this long of careers and play professional basketball this long without that savvy.
Oh, well, some guys don't have it. He has it. But Mario Chalmers is the best at it.
We saw him have 26 points in that game number 4 loss, 50-49 against Tri-State, but an outstanding effort from Chalmers. Isaiah Briscoe into the game. He doesn't play a ton of minutes, but still one of the strongest scorers in the Big Three, over 17 per game, as Jack not good off that pump fake shot.
Yeah, Briscoe can score. He can fill it up.
Owens into the post. Here is Maxiel's game, just banging, and Jack strips him. That's the savvy, Ryan.
Jared, you think he hasn't been posted up in his career?
Yes.
Take a look at the quick hands by Jared Jack. Here he is, takes the contact, guy spins.
He knew exactly when that drop step was coming.
Savvy.
It's always the smaller players you can't trust, that you have to be extra leery about. Does this one goes out of bounds? Argument over possession.
No, Jared thought that there was a shot clock violation. He grabbed the ball, just sort of traveled with it. Could have been his ball to clear. It's gonna be that's a costly turnover.
And it is Aliens basketball looking for their first win of this Big Three season. It's dropped in by Brown.
Shannon Brown got the space he wanted. You never know with a player when he makes his first shot what can happen in this league.
As we saw from Dedmon in the very first game, going off for double figures in his very first matchup in the Big Three.
But right away, Jared Jack crossed over, went away from the pick and roll, and knocked down a 17-footer.
Brown long 2 off 1 foot. Rebound goes out of bounds. Rush, a very short break on the bench. He'll relieve Owens. One of their head coach, Rick Mahorn. Rebound to Rush. Brown will pull up near the free throw line. He drops it in, and it's a tie game.
Yeah, he got to his space once again. Good fight. That's a lot of fight for Aliens getting back into this game.
It's got to be tough to be 0-3 just because of how short the season is, but it's barely starting a season. It's hard to know everything about a team just in such a short amount of time together. Rush takes a fall, but he doesn't get the call. Briscoe by himself, and he will finish at the rim.
Big time finish by Isaiah Briscoe, going strong to the rim.
He saw that clear path in front of him. Nothing was going to slow down that freight train.
Yeah, take a look. Here's Briscoe, not settling, going strong. A little bit of body contact. Take a look. Keeping the ball away from the defense.
Yeah, Maxiel challenged that pretty well, and he was still able to go strong. Briscoe. No one around him, but can't get that to fall. Rush screen from Maxiel. Long 2, rebound to Briscoe. He smartly goes right back up and draws the foul.
That's one thing, when the ball doesn't hit the rim, you don't have to clear it. You can go right back up. Take a look. Briscoe gets the ball. He goes right up. Maxiel comes over. There's the body contact. It's going to the line. One shot for 2 points.
I had to keep checking, preparing for this game, because in only 10 minutes of action, Briscoe is putting up 17 points. That's tied for 7th in the Big Three. Now, obviously, that is his three-point shooting. He's got 5, which also puts him up there in the entire league, but also plays like this.
Yeah, when you watch, he had that first shot, and he just knows how to get to open space. So the ball's gonna find you. And so, first shot was long, second shot was short. It only takes one for him to get it going.
Brown, hard screen from Odin.
Shannon Brown doing a really good job of coming shoulder to hip with his screener, and that's how he's creating that separation.
Jack is going to shoot over that screen because they went under.
Jared Jack started walking back, telling everybody, that's automatic. You cannot let me do that.
Note to self, don't go under screens. And Rick Mahorn upset with this call.
Yeah, Rick Mahorn. This is the second moving screen on the Aliens today.
Do you think that that's something that's being officiated differently than maybe your NBA playing days, moving screens?
Yeah, I mean, there's more contact here than in the NBA. But take a look. Getting through the screen.
One penalty.
Oh, that's a tough one. That is a tough one.
I mean, it's hard not to go with the big man there where you're just trying to do your job and take up space.
Yeah, and normally that would just be a side out of bounds. Yeah, so take a look. Odin's there. I mean, okay, he moved a little bit, but you can call that play a big three almost every possession.
That's a very good point. Here's Odin. Rush taking that shot, misses. Rebound weak side to Briscoe. His fadeaway falls in. Beautiful shot for Isaiah Briscoe.
Scoring machine. Scoring machine.
Rick Mahorn not happy with this run that Trilogy has been on. Mahorn's Aliens team 0-3 this season. And there is a timeout right before. Oh, a technical has been assessed, in fact.
Yeah, Rick Mahorn slapped at the ball like giving the official an earful.
Mahorn still trying to get all his words out.
Let's take a look. Here comes the ball. Rick Mahorn is upset.
Maybe right there, just flipping the ball like that.
Let it go. It's all right. You want guys to be emotional.
That's right. He was a Detroit bad boy. I mean, that's his reputation.
Yeah. It's all right to show some emotion.
Well, Trilogy has been on quite the run, so I think that probably contributes to that feeling of frustration just as much, as he's been assessed a technical foul. And the referee's still discussing here right in the key.
Yeah, I mean, so Aliens got back into the game. They raised their defensive intensity up. And then, a couple of calls went the wrong way for them. And next thing you know, you're looking at a 7-point ball game with Jarrett Jack with one free throw to send this thing to halftime.
So he will step to the line. And that does officially mark halftime. 26-17 is the Trilogy lead. It was back and forth, very close, and you can see the frustration with Rick Mahorn with his team falling from behind, trying not to go 0-4 this season. Plenty more coming your way here at halftime from Dallas. It is week 4 of the Big Three. Trilogy with the lead over the 0-3 Aliens. This is the midway point of the Big Three season. Welcome inside American Airlines Center in downtown Dallas. Sloan Martin, Brian Scalabrine along with you, who traded his uniform from Game 1. He's the captain of the Ball Hogs, to join us here on Triller and Fight. Your thoughts about this first half where we saw Trilogy gain some separation?
Yeah, so I like the way the Aliens fought back into the game, but then you saw Jack raise his level up and Isaiah Briscoe, but let's focus on Jarrett Jack, who is just playing at a big-time level. Watch how he can go anywhere on the court, and he gets his shot off. He has no problem with a hand in his face. You make a mistake, you go underneath, he makes you pay for 3. Here he is again, just gets a quick short shot at the rim, but here's where he's really dangerous. You cannot go underneath on Jack, because he will make you pay.
And Jarrett Jack is standing by with John Sally.
All right, JJ. You're doing it.
Man, we trying, man. They got a scrappy bunch over there. They got some like 1980s bigs over there, so we hoping we gonna knock down some shots, try to walk out here with a victory.
I know Rick Mahorn is really getting at him too, so these guys are coming at you with a second thought.
Yeah, man, we know this team is desperate for their first win, so we're not trying to give them no life, trying to jump on them early, trying to get up out of here.
That's why I love this guy. All right, Jay.
They've got some 1980s bigs over there. I would take that as such a compliment.
Well, there's some tough guys over there for sure.
Well, at the half, it is 26-17, Trilogy holding on.
Yeah, and another thing, I talked about I talked about White, but Amir Johnson, he's the one that has to battle these 1980s big, and he's doing a great job out there.
Well, the Aliens are trying to avoid an 0-4 hole in this short 8-week regular season. Miss there from Jack keeps it to the Aliens.
Watch Amir on this play, fight.
Made that a really difficult shot, even with a low post catch for Odin. Odin trying to drop down and he loses it. Just proving your point, making you look smart.
He's tough. Amir Johnson is tough.
Rebound to Odin off the miss. He hasn't filled up the stat sheet. He's got 3 rebounds, 2 points, but invaluable in the paint as there's a whistle as Owens was driving.
You know, usually when Owens goes to the left, he uses that step back.
Don't forget to enter the Big 3 Bring the Fire promotion, where you'll have a chance to win weekly cash prizes and a trip to the Big 3 Championship in the Bahamas. Scan the QR code now or text 500 to 75303 to sign up for text and enter. 4-point shot for Owens off back iron. Odin skying for that rebound. Johnson making it incredibly difficult, even getting a clean catch, and here with the flush.
A sweet pass by Jack, knowing exactly where Amir Johnson should go, right to the basket. Nice play, Jared Jack. Really having a good performance tonight.
Off the switch, it is Rush to mid-range too.
And that's the one thing, take a look right here. On the turnover, Jack with the behind the back leads Amir Johnson for the dunk.
We have seen such great guard play and a perfect example of knowing exactly where that teammate is.
Yeah, that's just an awesome play. Good awareness.
Jack loses that one, but is gonna earn a foul. A little delayed on that one.
Yeah, Jared Jack's just having fun right now. Look, Steven Jackson, what were you going to do on that play? Jared Jack going with the sky hook. Speaking of 80s bigs.
Holding the ball out like Shaq would when he would catch it in the post, just one hand away.
He's a fun player to watch.
Well, he is a very welcome and exciting addition to the Big 3. A first-round pick in 2005. I think of him as a trailblazer personally, but a lot of successful years in the NBA. That goes out of bounds off that shot from Briscoe.
I love underrated players. I thought even when he was in the NBA, he was an underrated player.
Yep.
There are some guys who just affect winning.
And that's a three-pointer for Johnson, who's not just powerful in the paint.
That's a huge, huge shot because now Greg Oden has to come out and guard him.
Aliens down 33-19. It's been a cold start this second half, and for turnovers like that.
It's a good job by Isaiah Briscoe, just challenging Rush on that pick and roll.
Well, Trilogy is another team like Three's Company, who we saw in game number 4, who I think, Brian, can challenge a team like the Triplets under Lisa Leslie, and we see that cohesiveness here.
Yeah, they're a very good team. I think they're the second best team in the Big 3 right now.
Difficult shot for Briscoe, right into the hands of Rush. That's one of those challenging intricacies of 3-on-3 basketball where that was almost like a pass to the other team.
You got to hit the rim.
Jack, some nifty moves. Difficult shot, hits front iron. Owens in the corner is good.
And this is what Aliens, this is what they do. They fight back, they keep scrapping. Next thing you know, it'll be a 4 or 5 point game and they'll have their chance. And we'll see if they can get a stop right here.
And they're only coming off a 3-point loss in week 3 against the Killer 3. So they've been present in these games, and that's just how quickly things can turn to 0-3. And perhaps Rick Mahorn is going to bring the fire.
They're going to bring the fire.
It's happening.
On a non-shooting foul.
That's why I was slightly hesitant, but he took a very confident walk over.
Yeah, I thought it has to be a shooting foul.
It is true.
I think he's just expressing his displeasure with the call.
So a note, if you are new to the Big 3, that has to be a shooting foul to bring the fire. I personally was just wanting to see it. Maybe there would have been a concession there, but maybe we'll see one in this game as that ball goes out of bounds. Mahorn already picking up a technical in the first half. Maybe more coaches will do that. That is no good. A foul though called.
Nice adjustment by Aliens. Now they're trapping, but Amir Johnson rolling right to the basket. Take a look. Aliens decides to bring more aggressiveness. Maxiel up the floor, but there's Amir Johnson going right down the lane. He could challenge this one. This would be a good challenge because Amir Johnson's not known to be a good one-on-one player, but Rick Mahorn decides not to do it.
So at the foul line is Amir Johnson. This for 2 points. Fighting for the loose ball. Rush comes away with it. And yet another whistle on that, going for the loose ball.
It's going to be 2 team fouls on Trilogy. I mean, Aliens still hanging around.
That's what makes it hard to say a whole lot of definitive things about a team, even when they are 0-3 this season. We're just starting to see things come together. As Brown from just beyond the free throw line, not there, but Maxiel working the boards and drawing the foul.
And 3-on-3, if sometimes taking a contested 2-point shot with a big coming at you is not a bad shot because you know it's going to be a wide open lane for the offensive board. Take a look. Maxiel comes right down the lane. Nice swim move on Amir Johnson, and he got himself a trip to the free throw line.
I mean, Johnson had his body right there to box him out, but Maxiel, you're right, with the swim move to get free to the rim. Brown, long mid-range, rebound to Jack. Playing with Rush, and he hits it right in front, and Rush just had to smile about that.
Big time shot.
It is fun in the big three in this style of basketball when you do get those moments of isolation.
Here is the step back. And that's a tough shot as well.
That's a great view from our crew as well. As that will bring us to a break here, 36-24. Is the Trilogy lead with a timeout called here at American Airlines Center. Trilogy and Steven Jackson trying to maintain their lead over the Aliens, moved to 3-1 this season.
Yeah, it's been a lot of Jared Jack just getting his space. And really, the Aliens just have no answer for him. A lot of those shots are contested, but he's still creating space and knocking those shots down.
And with that, it is, we're going to step away here at American Airlines Center. We'll have more of this second half coming up, seeing if the Aliens can come back. 38-25, the Trilogy lead over the Aliens, and we are blessed in this Game 5 of this week for the Big 3 season to hear Steven Jackson, head coach of Trilogy, mic'd up.
Off his leg, off his leg, off his leg. It went off his leg, Reb, it went off his leg. Jack, what you doing, Jack? Hey, let's get some stops, man. Let's get some stops. Come on now, they're scoring too easy. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, all y'all gotta do is dig. All y'all gotta do is dig.
Well, Steven Jackson in 2017, he was named the best trash talker in the Big 3, so not surprised. I mean, even that face palm in there, I mean, I think we can all relate to that.
Yeah, it was so fun playing against Steven Jackson, how he brought it. And he brought it every single night as Andre always knocked down the fadeaway. Every time he came out here, every possession, he was bringing a high level of intensity and energy. I loved it.
Well, he was one of the best players in the Big 3, his first year as a coach for Trilogy. Amir Johnson has plenty of time. Rebound to Owens. Owens for 3. Maxiel fighting for it. It was stripped by Jack. Not the first time that's happened today. It looks like it'll be Trilogy ball.
Yeah, great hands by Jack. You can't bring the ball down. See, that's something that I got to make sure I tell our bigs when we play them on Thursday.
Oh, and they have been emphatic the way that he has just stripped them.
Oh yeah, you cannot, like, he's timing it up. He's not looking to challenge you up top.
Doing it cleanly too. Owens trying to spin, he lost his footing. And a turnover. 38-26. The Trilogy lead, trying to continue their really strong start to the season, going 3-1, led by Jack, their captain. Very nice pick and roll, but that was blocked by Maxiel.
Maxiel did a great job of, one, challenging Jack on the pick and roll, and two, firing back and meeting Amir Johnson at the rim. Not an easy thing to do. Look at him coming over, timing it up, goes over, and blocks the shot.
Maxiel the rebound. He looked like a volleyball player ready to spike as he was getting set for that block. Rebound to Brown. Difficult spin around, turnaround shot right along the baseline will fall.
Yeah, Aliens showing a lot of grit with offensive rebounds and fighting more on these pick and rolls.
Jack right into the chest of Maxiel, a difficult shot. Owens will put it away.
Yeah, doesn't have to clear, and Andre Owens taking his time, knowing giving up the size to Amir Johnson. Steven Jackson wants to talk it over.
And for what reason do you think that is, bringing a timeout at this point when you've got this 8-point cushion?
Because Trilogy is not playing with the same intensity they were, and you got to close out games and you got to level up.
Especially when this is a team that wants to go back to the championship game they won in 2017. Play Big 3 Fantasy only on the Super Draft app, and you can win a chance to the Big 3 Finals in the Bahamas. Use code BIG3 for an instant $30 deposit match. Jared Jack trying to keep his Trilogy team up ahead. But Rick Mahorn, very familiar with Trilogy. He won a championship game there in 2017. This was a super fun team, Brian, and I'm sure it was to experience. They were undefeated, won that championship game. No MVP on this team, but Mahorn, the coach of the year.
When I watched this team play the very first time, I told Kenya Martin, you guys got the best team in the league because they defended. They all got after it. Kenya Martin was a special defender when he played, and you could just tell they had that swag. And Al Harrington was a beast to try to stop in the paint. So I really enjoyed that team that first year.
Yeah, not only was Steven Jackson the best trash talker that year, but Al Harrington, you mentioned, too hard to guard, which maybe not an award you hear about, obviously, in other leagues, but one that you would absolutely love to take the title of. Hopefully Briscoe is okay. It looked like he slipped on the floor. It's Jack. We'll put up a 3 just as the shot clock expires. Owens looking for a screen from Maxiel. Jack goes under and Owens will miss.
For whatever reason, Trilogy not securing those defensive boards. This has been the difference. There's a lot of scrap. All the 50-50 balls after that Rick Mahorn timeout in the second half have all gone to Aliens. They're sort of chipping away. They just got to make shots to get back into this game.
Brown, jab fakes. He's got White on him. Difficult shot against the strong defensive player. And it's Trilogy ball. Very physical as Briscoe attacks right into Owens.
Yeah, good job using his body, and Owens is a strong defender, but Briscoe knows exactly how to handle this baseline.
Brown's got it now. Far outside the three-point line, but he has plenty of time to put this one up, and that hits back iron. Nice pass from Johnson by himself, but he will knock down the 3.
And that's a good example of James White. He's a defensive player, but he makes tough shots. He's a winner, and winners make those plays.
Brown almost loses it against White, one of the best two-way players that you will see in the Big 3. Owens pulling up, had some space, rebound to Johnson, boxing out while he's in the air. Briscoe by himself, and that just rims out, but really wide open three-point opportunities for the Trilogy. Great effort by Briscoe, snatching that away from Maxiel. He will attack and draw the foul.
Interesting move right here. Steven Jackson taking Jared Jack out and putting James White in, but Briscoe knows he has to step up, and that's exactly what he did. Had that wide open shot, missed it, but got downhill, got fouled, going to the free throw line.
And as a reminder,
They want to bring the fire. They want to bring the fire.
it looks like Greg Oden is going to be the one doing it.
Greg Oden broke the bring the fire button.
It is time for the Taco Bell Bring the Fire.
Interesting matchup. Both guys are sort of big, stocky. They use their body when they play. Andre Owens is a strong defender. So this is a good matchup.
It'll be Isaiah Briscoe and Andre Owens. Is this a time you make this decision because this is a matchup that you think is very even?
Well, not just that, but the score. You need to get this stop right here.
Briscoe spins, gets it back, and Owens gets the stop.
No foul. I'm surprised on that. No foul at all. Good bring the fire. Whether it was Rick Mahorn telling Greg Oden to go over there or whoever pressed the button, Andre Owens is the guy who got the stop, and that was huge.
Rick Mahorn was going to bring the fire this game.
Oh, no question.
And he didn't.
He just didn't want to walk over there and do it.
The players aren't used to it. Oden wasn't sure exactly where he needed to go, but there is actually a physical button that is pressed. As there's another whistle on the floor.
Now, this is interesting. James White.
Brian, let me just cut in there. At halftime of Game 6, which is right after this game, a performance by the legend himself in Ice Cube. We already saw NLE Choppa, who is here performing, the 18-year-old rapper. So stick around for halftime of Game 6. That'll be against the Three-Headed Monsters and Bivouac. White, difficult shot. After that spin move, Rush with it now. 10 on the shot clock. That lob inside to Oden, and that's when you see the problem of not having that help defense in this.
Yeah, you cannot front Greg Oden. Not in this league. No way. And I think Amir right away double taps his chest. My bad. He knows he can't do that.
Briscoe, a little step back shot. Doesn't go in. Rebound to Oden. Rush lets White fly by. Can't drain free. Rush is going to lose that way up in the air. Lands into the hands of Briscoe for an easy two.
It's only a matter of time. I wonder if Trilogy is going to bring Jared Jack back for the game winner or not. They got a pretty comfortable lead.
They potentially win it on their next possession. A lot of making up to do for the Aliens after a really closely contested first half of the first half. Here's Owens. Rebound to White, a chance to end it right here. They're going to say it's a shoot though.
And that's the thing. I mean, people like in this league, a lot of people talk about a lot of players. You never hear people walking around, man. You see James White. Like, James White is a winning player.
That's absolutely right.
And they're going to do a replay just to see if his foot was on the line or not.
The score reading right now, 47 to 32.
Yeah, we can see right here. And this is all just a find out. You got to know what the score is going to be. He gets behind that line. You know that's going to be a long two.
That's a two.
It's right there along the baseline.
Amir didn't lead the lane. Oh, Amir didn't lead the lane. He didn't lead the lane, right? He left the lane. He cleared. Amir didn't lead the lane.
Rick Mahorn convinced that is a two. I imagine this being a shorter replay.
Well, I wonder if they're...
There's no clearing violation. It's a two-point field goal. That's it. Two-point field goal.
No clearing violation. A lot of people were talking, did Amir Johnson lead the lane on that shot? He cleared it. Shot goes up. James White with a big shot. And the scoreboard is right, 47-32.
All right, so the Aliens still technically in this because we know in the big three, no clock to run out. So Trilogy going to have to continue to get stops. And they are 3 points away from winning. Must win by at least 2 as Rush will attack and he will draw the foul.
Really interesting. You cannot foul in these situations. That's going to be the 6th foul. So Rush will get a free throw and then get the ball back. You don't, when you have a lead like that, you really don't want to foul. You just want to pull your hands back.
Let's go. Come on. Let's go. James,
Here he is. Yeah, that's a tough call. You don't see that call a lot. Oh, and Steven Jackson bringing the fire.
Again, almost the third time in this game. Rick Mahorn tried to do it during a non-shooting foul. We are going to bring the fire. It's official. The Taco Bell bring the fire again in this week 4 game here in downtown Dallas. It'll be Brandon Rush, the offensive player, and he'll be going up against James White.
One of the best defensive players in this league.
Rush trying to shake him off. Long two, fading away, does not go, and White does his job exactly.
And, you know, that's Steven Jackson for you. He understands the matchup. You know what? Whether it's a foul, not a foul, whatever, I got James White defensively. I'm taking that. Game point. Maybe.
Briscoe against Owens, attacking, finding Johnson, wide open for three, and that is it. Trilogy going up to 3-1 this season after this 50-32 win. Just dominance from Trilogy.
They are next level. They can challenge triplets. They are the second best team in this league. Good extra pass. Briscoe, Amir Johnson for second three of the night. Nails it.
It was a full team win. We didn't see Jarrett Jack for much of the game, and you can see him right there on the bench.
Look at that. Steven Jackson loving it. Jarrett Jack loving it. Getting the win and not even have to be there at the end of a game. Nice job.
Let's check in with John Sally with Jarrett Jack.
All right, Jared, you had to go over there and hug Rick Mahorn before he smacked you, I'm sure.
Yeah, got to pay proper respects, man. I respect any and everybody, yourself included, that came before us, afforded us these opportunities. We're able to come out here, do something we love, make money from it, and, you know, we just really appreciate y'all.
All right, you did a great job. Let's see what happens next week.
Thank you, baby. Appreciate it.
Take it.